shit is perfect. We rap for a purpose. Everything we got in this world, nigga, we earned it. Never follow the rules, took a lighter and burnt it.
Another sunny day in Miami. We earned it. Especially my next guest, Mr. DJ EFN, co-host of Drink Champs podcast, Miami representative,
right.
Co-creator of Coming Home documentary series.
Right.
All that, man. Thanks for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
What's going on, man? I'm so excited for you to be here. How was your Revolt experience?
It was good. It was great. Yeah, it was good. It was good, man. I mean, all those weekends, they could start getting crazy. It just takes a lot out of you, but it wasn't too bad. We had BET before that, BET weekend, the awards, and then we had Revolt, but it was good.
Nice. Any notables? Well, first off, JC, what's up? Elena, what's up?
How you doing?
You guys are going to be involved this time.
Yes,
I'm not going to hog up
sure.
my time with the guests this
Why,
time.
you keep them out of the conversation?
I get into a zone.
Wow.
No, I get into a zone.
He texts us. He's like, "Hey, don't ask any questions for like 10 minutes."
Never. I get into a zone just because I'm
He
so
edits
excited
y'all
about
out,
stuff.
blurs y'all in the video.
Never. It's just, dude, you're just doing us a favor. Like you put in so much work.
Right.
And I was telling JC this, like, I could only imagine you was in our shoes once upon a time, just grinding.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like.
And still grinding.
Yeah,
the grind never stops.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But the no's, how many no's were you confronted with along the way?
I can't. It's too many to count. For all various reasons. Starting with just being from Miami originally back in the days, like that was already a no off bat because the industry was controlled by New York mostly, and and then a little bit LA and Atlanta. So they didn't respect anybody in the South.
Right.
And especially talking about hip hop, they really didn't respect hip hop. And then add being Latino on top of that, then that added another layer of like. We don't get it, you know what I'm saying?
Or what are you doing? I mean,
I had people going, "Hey, you should do that like salsa rap."
What the hell's that?
Fuck if I knew, man. I had a really good attorney. I think he was like an attorney for like Gloria Estefan, all these people. Charged me a grip of money, but he was always like, "Yo, you should do like a Latin bass." I don't know. He just started throwing all these things at me. I'm just like, nah, bro. I'm just a hip hop kid, man. Like, let me just do what we do,
No doubt.
Yeah.
Were you you were born in LA though?
Yeah. I'm I have strong roots from LA. I've practically been there every year of my life. I have family out there still. My nephew, my aunts, my cousins.
Nice. And that's a whole nother culture in itself.
Yeah, it's a whole, and I think that added to a little bit of some of how I do things. But I'm definitely raised in Miami. I'm a Miami boy,
No doubt.
So yeah. But
you went to high school over here.
Junior high. I went even elementary because my parents, they separated when I was young in LA. My dad moved over here in the 80s, cocaine cowboy days. My dad's
he was a cowboy?
He was an ex-Vietnam vet, Marine. He did the GI Bill, became an accountant through that. So think about it. Think about those that that sheet. Like you're an ex-vet and you're an accountant, and then you're Cuban. And then you come to Miami in the heyday of all that. I mean, I heard some things. So, when all I know is that whenever we came over here, we was paid. When we went back to LA, we was broke again. So, so my parents kept trying to work it out. And so I had been coming to Miami since elementary school. So I have friends that go back to elementary school here in Miami. But it was like, that story, parents fighting, and we'd break out in the middle of the night, take a flight back. My dad's wilding out, has flashbacks.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
That wasn't an easy
Actually,
one.
there's a part of in the vinyl or in the tape cassette or whatever, I actually depict kind of some of that storyline.
Which one? Where at?
I think pull out the vinyl. I don't know if it's in there. It should be like a sheet or something. It should be. Maybe I'm wrong. No, maybe not. I'm actually absolutely very wrong about that. So
What's the sheet about?
It's on the cassette tape actually.
Okay.
It's a cartoon like comic book strip that explains to why this kid created Crazy Hood and the whole who's crazy and all of that, and it goes back to like all that stuff having to do with my upbringing and stuff and dealing with like all that craziness.
That's where the Crazy Hood
That was your outlet?
Yeah, like music, man, like and just like I mean, we're skipping a lot of things, but definitely like my parents and the back and forth LA and Miami. Like when I first came to Miami, I hated Miami. LA was my home.
Yeah.
I was a little kid, all my friends, you know, and my mom's plucking me out, bringing me over here, and then my dad wilding the fuck out.
Right.
You know, like wilding, like scary shit, you know.
Yeah.
So, you motherfuckers speaking Vietnamese pulling out guns on us, like scary
my
shit.
God. Charlie, all around the corner.
And then now as an older person, I know now, like, you know, he was dabbling in some things and doing some things, and it was altering his state of mind. So, yeah, there's all kinds of craziness. And so when we finally stayed here, and I went to junior high, which was Arvida. Then I'm confronted, like, the cultures, LA and Miami cultures are totally different.
Yeah.
So when you deal with, like, the whole southern, you know, like, segregation and just, it's just a different thing out here. Not to say that LA doesn't have that, but, like, it's just different. So I remember in junior high, there was these, like, huge rumbles and like riots between Latinos and blacks. Like they were busting in kids from Richmond Heights area.
That was the thing to do. That was just the way it was back
then. But when I first got here, I didn't get it. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't get it, and it was just like wild. And I was like a skater when I was young. You know, coming from LA. In LA, you know, you could be a skater, surfer, hip hop. You could be all that, and it doesn't matter. But here, they didn't get it here either.
Yeah, they didn't get it. This is like a mix of East and West culture here in Miami. I always felt, because I grew up my first years here too, and it was like we could listen to Big and we could listen to Pac down here.
Right.
You know, when I went up to New York, it was more like you need to listen to Pac in your room and Big outside. We would have the lyrics of Big songs and do a contest of who could memorize the words faster. You know what I mean? So,
right.
But down here, I figured it was like that back in the day too, right? Like just a mix of both cultures, or you just saw just one?
You mean musically?
Yeah, musically.
It was mixed, but Miami, like, how can I explain this? And I've explained it a million times, but it's just hard for people to grasp it. So you had, like, Miami bass.
Yeah.
Which wasn't, the people that were all involved in that didn't consider the hip-hop majority of it coming from New York. You know, they didn't consider that like music that they called that hip hop, and hip hop to them was some New York phenomenon.
Yeah, like how Luke said it in this last BT Awards.
Didn't even say I was there and I missed that part, which I'm kicking myself in the ass.
They said it was like the best.
No, it was. Everybody called me after like, you're an asshole. You left at the wrong time.
You left?
Yeah, I'm not really big on these things, man. Like, nah, man. You know, like,
I heard they're boring, kind of, those award shows.
No, it's just not that. It's just too many people, man.
Really?
Like, I'm claustrophobic. I'm antisocial. I hate people. Like,
well, shit.
It's too much, man. It's too much. It's like rap overload at that point, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I was there for a while, but I was in the lobby hanging out with people, you know what I'm saying? Not sitting in the thing.
How long did you want that problem for? Imagine, like, back in the days, like, man, I wish I had that problem where I just got bored of these rap people.
Nah, I always did. I mean, it's not rap people. I just don't like people.
Oh, people are
You know what I'm saying? It's not rap people. I'm just saying.
Okay.
And the reason I say rap people is that too much of anything, you just get like, it's like, it's oversaturation.
Yeah.
And for me as a creator, like a creative type person, you don't want to oversaturate yourself with one thing, because then you don't want to create it anymore. You don't want to be involved in it. So I try to like detach myself as much as possible, so I continue the passion and the love for what I do and for the culture.
Right. So this one was the last one you did, right? Another time was
last album, first studio album, you know.
Right. No, I love this cover.
Unlike the mixtapes that I did.
It's like a mix of Dr. Doom right there. You have the calendar right there, May '93. You were born in May, right? Is your birthday?
Born in May, but I started Crazy Hood in 1993, May of 1993.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, it was the year I graduated, the month and the year I graduated from high school.
I love the fucking album. You have the Dog Pound album here.
Yeah, those are albums that inspired me.
Illmatic here. You have your DVD here. The Alcoholics here. You have a lot of fucking crazy shit. Like, this album is one of the... Who did that one for you? Who's the artist on this one?
It's Scam. He's also from Miami. He's from Carroll City. He's the guy that did all the artwork inside the first Slim Shady album.
Oh, sick.
He also did Tribe Called Quest, Beats, Rhyme, and Life. D12's vinyl cover, like, he's legendary, and he has a song with Eminem.
Oh, sick! Yeah, which one?
It's one of the first songs Eminem had on Wax.
Oh, okay.
And it was what's the name of Scams?
On Infinite? It wasn't on Infinite.
No. This is Scam. It was his joint with Eminem. It was thank you, bro.
And Eminem. Take the other cup. Let me get those. Here.
365.
Some proper
365. Yeah, I can't believe I forgot that, but yeah. So, Scam's an old friend of mine. He's designed pretty much all our album covers. I mean, when I met him, knowing that he had the song with M and that he did the artwork for Tribe, he was already like a Miami legend to me.
Uh-huh.
You know, there's a lot of Miami has contributed a lot to hip hop culture that people just don't realize, you know. And he's one of those characters, and he, you know, we've just been working ever since. And he created that character on my album cover has been a character we created on our first album that I released from Crazy, which was a group called The Alliance, which I was the DJ of. And the character's name is Norm, short, you know, like Norman Bates, like crazy.
Shit, okay,
you know? Everything revolves about being crazy.
Yeah.
And it's not being crazy thug, it's being crazy clinically.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I could relate,
Yeah.
definitely.
Which can be thug, can easily thug out, you know, clinically you gonna wild out, but
Yeah,
you
no
know,
doubt.
but yeah.
That's how Eminem says it all the time. Like, he's not a gangster, but like,
Right.
if you fuck with him, he snaps like that
Right,
snap of
right.
craziness, and that's just something that we grew up with in the hood. If you
Right, sometimes
take
you
that
just
gang
had to
life.
be like, you want this crazy?
Right,
And
right.
Mo was like, I'm good. Keep
happens
that
once.
crazy. I'll catch you later.
it's not even worth it. Like,
No,
to
yeah.
piss off someone who's crazy and they snap, it's not even worth the trouble.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that's what's up, man. Now, speaking of Eminem, what do you think about that freestyle rant he had about Trump?
I thought it was cool. Honestly, I didn't think it was his best.
Of course not.
I don't know if it was a real freestyle. It seemed like it. So if it was, kudos to him for doing a real freestyle.
Yeah.
But you know, it was cool. That's
cool,
that's
right?
all I got to say about it,
The
really.
message. That's how I felt about it.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was cool
Lyrically,
the
it
draw the
wasn't
line
like-
thing. If you're a fan of his, it was.
Do you think more artists should take that road?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, this is what some controversy people have with that, and I mean, I think M is one of the best. You know, so I'm not saying this to say anything bad about him, but they're saying that it took a white artist for everybody to start talking about it when there's been a lot of black artists or non-white artists that have kind of been doing that. More on the underground, though. So I get it, you know what I'm saying? M has more to lose in certain aspects, and, you know, he put himself out there, but I don't know. I just think that there is other people out there that have been activists for a long time that they're not getting the recognition.
Like who?
I mean, just, you know, like, I know that my son has been putting
My
himself
Son,
out
yeah,
there, and
he's
if you want to go
gangster.
further back, like a Dead Prez, that they don't stop. David Banner, you know, he's continuously out there. So, you know, there's people
Yeah,
out there.
David Banner's
Yeah.
actually
Chuck
been
D,
to
Public
ranks with,
Enemy.
Bernie and whatnot.
Right.
But
right.
not
no,
taking-
Killer Mike.
I'm sorry, Killer Mike.
Mike,
Yeah.
yeah.
But not taking any sides. Who would you name to be an artist that you'd want to speak up? A white artist. Who would you say?
I mean,
Because,
it wouldn't. To me, it doesn't matter about race, really.
Yeah.
I'm just
But-
saying that's the controversy that surrounded that people felt there was a lot of fanfare because he was white, you know.
Yeah, that's.
But
exactly
really,
what it was,
it depends on how you're looking at it. It's really because he's Eminem, and he's such a big artist, you know.
Yeah.
So that's really probably what it is. But then, you know, like I get it. Like it's like then he's white. It kind of made it weirder for people. Like some
Yeah.
people are just like, we don't need the white messiah. Like it just depends. Like it's just when you get into that racial side of it, it gets weird and crazy. But it should. You know what I'm saying? Because unfortunately, this country hasn't been able to fucking deal with that shit.
Yeah, I'm glad it was Eminem too, like
You know?
because he does it. He doesn't need to do it.
But that's what's dope about it.
Yeah.
That's what's dope. But I understand why people is like so much controversy around. When I say controversy, I'm not talking about people against his message. I'm talking about people that are for his message.
Right.
They're just saying, why are we having so much fanfare for the white guy doing it? You know, when there's other people that have kind of been doing it, and they're just not getting put into the forefront.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
The people that are protesting in the streets, that are going out there, like I mean, artists, and I'm not talking about just regular
Right.
activists.
YG's like was complaining.
Yeah, when he had fuck Donald Trump
2 years
That's
ago
my
type
favorite
of
shit.
shit.
Yo, remember the story? Were you there when we told that kid? No, that shit was hilarious to me.
What with fuck?
Wait, was it with you
Donald Trump?
at the airport?
In LA, yeah.
Yeah, we was in the airport in LA, and then and we were in the line to get our tickets. This is a stupid story anyway, but
No, go ahead. I
Just-
love it.
I'm assuming it was a white kid, but this little kid, he looked like just really privileged. Yeah, I mean, he might as well have had the sweater wrapped around his neck type of shit. But he's like rapping some ratchet shit. He came up because right next to us was the automated shit, the computer shit. But we're in the line, so he's like rapping some crazy. He's like, man, fuck you, motherfucker, blah blah blah. And I'm looking at him. He just got on my nerves. I'm like, man, fuck Donald Trump. He just looked at me and walked away.
Oh shit!
Damn, yeah. With as many crazy shit's been happening in the airport, he's fucking probably got spooked.
Yeah, nah, it was just funny because he was just mad ratchet, but he didn't look it,
Right.
like he was just like this privileged kid. Watch him be like from the hood, and
Right,
he just
right.
decided to take that look, but whatever, it was just funny to
You
me.
gave it a little taste of crazy. You're like.
Yeah, I just got annoyed, and that song was in my head, and I
Yeah.
snapped on him on it.
it's hard to have a bold stance on politics and on your dad's yacht.
Right.
At the same time, you know
For
what I mean?
sure, for sure.
It's
Yeah.
it's just the way it is.
We're
but
living in some weird times right now. That just
Definitely.
to say the least, you know.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
So you go back to LA like often then every
Yeah,
year or so?
as often as I can, for sure. Yeah.
I love LA, man. I was out there recently. You was out there too, then, right?
Yeah, November.
Yeah, I want to go back. To be honest, I mean,
It's
you
dope,
got things
man.
popping here, but for the film thing, what do you think is better, to be over here or over there?
I mean, obviously, there's a lot more networking to be done over there, but you might stand out more over here if you do your shit right. You know, it's just once you do your shit right, you know, you're gonna have to go over there at some point to do business.
Yeah.
So.
With the Crazy Hood Academy, Film Academy,
Right.
you've had that since '92.
No.
Or
The Film Academy came way later, like late '90s, and it was pure out of necessity because we needed to get visuals done, videos.
You needed to make your own music
And
videos,
we didn't
and
want
it
to
was
have
like
to keep.
too much.
We didn't
to
have the
pay.
money to pay people.
Right.
One of my artists, Garcia, he had went to film school, so he started. You know, I was like, look, why don't we just start? We didn't even call it Film Academy. I was like, let's just do it in house, and we started doing it in house.
Yeah.
And then fast forward, we did this. I decided I wanted to go to Cuba. This had nothing to do with Crazy Hood, and nothing to do with nothing. It was just
Right.
personal. And then I told him, if he wanted to go, since he's Cuban American, neither of us had gone to Cuba.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's film it, and let's just document it for ourselves, for our children, for our grandchildren, just to do it for our family.
No doubt.
We went, we filmed it, super low budget. We even did like a GoFundMe type of thing. And come back, we edited it, and people loved it. And I was able to get it licensed to Revolt when Revolt launched the network in 2013. It was the first original acquisition.
Nice.
And it was through a connect that I had through the mixtapes on MTV. Like when they had Mixtape Mondays, and they would. It was a friend of mine that was a producer on that.
Nice. Who's this girl? This girl's so dope.
Denai Suarez. After the film, she got signed to Universal.
She's dope.
Tours the world now. She just put out an album, right? She's got a show in Hialeah Park.
Does she live here now?
She lived here for a second when Obama opened everything up.
Uh-huh.
She moved back, and she has been building with the money she's been making, building a crib on top of her family's crib.
Nice.
And she has she's
God
back in
bless,
Cuba,
yeah,
and she goes
boy.
back and forth. And
Imagine
she's-
that's because you guys went out there.
partially. I don't like to take that credit.
She is naturally talented.
Yeah,
she was
yeah, yeah.
inevitable, but you accelerated the process.
I helped accelerate the process.
Absolutely.
That I will take on.
Yeah, absolutely,
But she was gonna get there one way or the other, regardless.
She's
of
dope,
us,
man.
you
I was
know?
watching this the
Yeah.
other night again because I saw it when it first came out a few years ago. Your artist Garcia, he's known around here for a long time.
Yeah.
Like I even remember. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he did a UPN commercial one time.
Yeah.
UPN, the network that's not even
Yeah,
around
he did
anymore.
UPN.
That's how
Yep.
long it's been since you guys been around.
Yeah.
I would see you guys downtown at Space and all that shit, man. So
We're all over the place, man.
all over the place. So you guys definitely did this like justice to this. Even the editing was like really dope.
I mean, this is super, like I said, low budget bootleg. But it got so much attention and so many people that were outside of our circle and people. I thought only Cubans would like it. Then more than Cubans like it. Then I was like, just Latinos are gonna like it. Then more than just Latinos liked it. And so then that inspired me to say, well, you know what? Why can't we create an Anthony Bourdain type of thing for hip hop?
yeah,
And this is before, like, maybe right around the same time, but before, like, Vice was really doing stuff like this and, like, other outlets were doing it. And what I tell people now, because people are like, oh, it's something like Vice, what differentiates us is that we're not going there as journalists to any of these countries by far. And I'm definitely not going there to exploit anybody. Not saying that other people do,
yeah,
but other outlets need to show you the grime and need to show you how bad people, are conditions that they're in.
right.
I'm there purely to highlight the culture, and the camera will be honest if there's something in front of it that comes in, but I'm going in there to highlight the culture and the interaction between us.
And that you do. And then you came out with the Peru.
And he's Peruvian. We took him
Boris
back
over
home.
here, your friend who you
Beats
brought,
in the
shout out
Hood.
to
He's one of our
Boris.
producers, young producers.
Young producers, good. And how was this one? I caught some of this one.
Loved Peru, man, and I basically picked Peru because I just wanted to go to Machu Picchu. So I was like, and what I started doing is whatever money we made off of one film, I just invested into the next one. It didn't go into our pockets. In fact, we kept spending more money because I wanted to keep making a better film.
Yeah. Now, process-wise, workflow-wise, you recorded it. Recording is usually the easy part. Like,
Sell that to the camera guys.
as far as, I mean, no, I know. But when you're a part of a project like this, that your sole purpose is to record and document,
Right.
it's fun. It's like pretty much the easy part. But the editing, the workflow, how long did it take you guys to put it together, edit it, and then package it to the point that you were comfortable with it?
It takes about 6 months to do the edit.
Okay.
Especially the way we edit, because originally Garcia was editing, but then we took that, like, he wasn't doing it anymore. We got another dedicated editor, who was one of our camera guys. And the way that I edit it is that my editor will do a full cut, like a full rough edit, and then I'll take it, or he'll give it to me in pieces, and then I'll literally go there and second by minute time code and start to like edit like tell him my notes of editing.
Yeah.
And we're going back and forth like that, which is a little time consuming.
How many drafts comes out of that?
We'll probably end up with 3 or 4 rough drafts.
3 or 4, and then the final one is the one that you can watch yourself and be like,
I'm never pleased with the films.
Never?
Nah, because we we could always have more budget. We could always license better music. Like we don't. We're usually music within our crew, like Mayday or whatever, like stuff that's not gonna cost me.
Right. That's the point of it too, though, right? Like to try to put your artists on a little bit
to a degree, right? But you want what's best for the film, not best for promoting my artist. Like so, but my artist's music is phenomenal and it helps. But sometimes you want to be able to put that new Kendrick track.
Yeah. How's that? How tedious is that process? Licensing the music. They're like,
oh, that shit's insane, dude.
It's almost crazy.
And then there's like if you want to use like B-roll footage of some like stock footage stuff, like and there's loopholes around it to like be able to use it. It's just the movie side is a whole other different monster that I had to tackle that I'm still not 100% in the know of what I'm doing. But I don't believe in trying to figure it all out. I believe in figure it out as I'm doing it.
Yeah. Well, Busta said something cool on the last.
Yeah, Busta's
Drink Champs
been a big supporter of the films without me knowing him.
Yeah, he said you sharpen steel with steel, and that's pretty much the grind that you guys believe in, because everything that you put out is always better than the last, and you're always trying to step it up and make it as official as possible. And is that what you did with the Vietnam now? The one that you just filmed, or like how well do you think that one's going to come out?
Well, no. The one that's in post production is Colombia.
Colombia, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so we did. It's Cuba, Peru, Haiti. Vietnam was the last one that was aired on Revolt, and now Colombia's in post production, which has been taking forever because of my Drink Champ schedule and other things that I'm doing. It's taken a long time, and I'm actually even more hands on the edit, which is the reason why it's taking a little longer.
Okay.
How fun was it to shoot that though?
They're all fun, man.
Colombia's a little different.
If you're referring to the women, I don't know, man. I went with my Colombian friends, and I of course, like, we saw beautiful women, but to me, Miami is
Mecca.
I don't know, man. Like, we got we went to Medellin, and no doubt they're beautiful women, but
wait, what parts of Colombia did you go to?
Went to Bogotá, Medellin, and Barranquilla.
I should have taken you to Cartagena, Barranquilla, and Santa Marta. That's it. That should have been it.
Nah, man. We have to go to Bogotá, especially for some hip hop shit.
You probably wouldn't come back.
That's what people look. When I went to Cuba, it's like, oh, when you go to Cuba, it's gonna be blah blah blah. Like, I don't know, man. I mean, I think Miami has the best of everything. When it comes, especially to women, and I think we have everything.
Yeah,
you places.
Yeah.
I always be like, nah, Miami got the best women.
Yeah, LA's up there too.
Yeah, LA's dope. But I don't know, Miami, because we have the Caribbean flavor. Right? Like, it's the Caribbean.
I love it.
It's a mix.
Yeah, definitely.
Where'd you go to Bogotá though?
Where in Bogotá?
Yeah.
Man, my memory probably doesn't serve me right now, but we went into the hood, and we met up with these dudes, Crack Fam. I don't know if you know about them. There's these artists out there, and we went into some, like, I think it's called,
Favela?
I think it's Santa Fe, but I get confused because we went to Santa Fe in Cuba, but I think we went to a place called Santa Fe in Bogotá. And it was the hood, dude. No, we went to the favelas. Yeah, like, we go in. Like, in Haiti, we went into Cité Soleil, which is one of the worst slums in the world.
Yeah.
Where the Haitians said, you guys are idiots for going in there.
Damn.
And in retrospect, we were idiots for going in there. But it was just beautiful. It was magical, you know, to be able to come out of there. It's like a roller coaster, you know, probably not the best words to use, but because you come out of there and you're like, oh man, that shit
a very
was crazy.
shaky roller coaster, potentially shaky.
But when you go into these hoods, man, and they, what needs to happen for us to survive is that they need to realize that we're hip hop just like them.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't get that right off the bat. It needs some conversation.
Well, that's why you guys are named Crazy Hood. You guys got to go to the craziest hood sometimes, you know.
Until we don't make it out the hood, and then that's a problem.
After this one, where's the next stop? Do you have any of that in development yet?
Well, this is the thing. So I'm gonna do what is Colombia? Our fifth?
Fifth, right? Yeah,
fifth. So right now I'm gonna complete 6. That's a part of this documentary, like full on movie series. And then, but the ultimate goal is to do the TV series. That's going to be weekly, episodic, you know, and that's right now what I'm shopping around and I'm talking to people
like a Bourdain
about.
style type of thing.
That's the goal.
And you want to be the host? Just you
in
want
the
to wear
beginning,
those
in the
shirts,
beginning,
those Hawaiian shirts, and just walk around.
Crazy hood. I'm going to be hip hop, but yeah, I mean, Bourdain's an older gentleman. I could be, you know, hip hop. That part of the reason why I don't dye my beard is because hip hop needs to grow the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? And we need to do it gracefully and continue to do what we do with no shame about aging because we're all fucking getting old.
Hip hop is ageless in reality.
Right, but you know, in entertainment, there's the stigma of aging. You know?
Of course, yeah.
I feel hip hop should not follow that because we always were outside of the regular entertainment industry. You know, we were the stepchild. So why follow it now, you know?
Right.
The way I feel about that is music is like you don't have an age limit. If you make
transcends
good music,
age.
you're gonna make good music.
Absolutely, man. I mean, look at these rock legends. You know, these motherfuckers are about to die and they're still sniffing blow and fucking messing with groupies and you know and doing world tours like and nobody blinks an eye at that.
Yeah, look at Keith Richards. He's about 100 years old, still rocking, still smoking, still doing his heroin.
So
he hires Michael Jackson's doctor and shit.
Bring the can closer.
And yeah, that's what's up, man. Like, what was the first song that really changed your life?
In like general?
Album, hip-hop wise, what was the first one?
Oh, thank you, brother. And thank you for getting the beers, man. NWA, hands down, is what changed everything for me.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I had been an avid hip-hop fan before that, you know, but I was, like, more sporadic and just, like, I had a crazy playlist because, you know, like I said, I was a skater, so I used to listen to metal and thrash.
What was your favorite metal band?
Iron Maiden was one of them. Guns N' Roses was a big
Huge,
Guns N' Roses fan. I liked everything. I liked this group called Dead Presidents. Fucking just all Suicidal Tendencies.
Okay.
You know when I go to skate jams, that's the dope thing about skaters. They would listen to hip hop, thrash, everything.
Yeah,
and
that's what I loved about skating too.
I mean, and the first hip hop anything I learned through the culture of skating.
Yeah.
You know, even
skating
graffiti.
Is everything.
Like Mark Gonzalez, one of my favorite skaters, and he's a big graffiti artist. You know, from back in the day. So
yeah, what brands were around your board? What was the brand there?
Vision.
Remember? Vision.
Yeah, Vision, and I used to rock the Vision streetwear gear. And then Pal Peralta.
Are they still around, Vision, or
they revamped it and they re-released the gear? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'm hearing that it was actually like whack to wear Vision. I didn't know it. I was a kid.
Well,
I mean, they had some dope skaters. I mean,
Rodney Mullen is one of the best
Pal
ones.
Peralta, yeah. But Mullen, he wasn't the freestyle dude.
He was the freestyle, but he evolved into the street. That's what was so dope about him.
Okay.
He was.
Didn't they have a doc? Is it him? That he had a tragic. I think he killed himself.
No, not him. He's still around.
Oh, so he's not the freestyle skater I'm thinking of. There's another dude from Pal Peralta that he was just a dude that did all that stuff with his leg, feet in the skateboard, but stayed in one place. He didn't street skate. And that guy had some tragic story to him.
Oh, really? Damn. No, Rodney Mullen was dope. I came around when Zero. You remember Zero?
Yeah. Christian Hosoi. You remember Christian? Who that is? Big ramp skater. He's super dope. He has a documentary. All these skaters have dope ass documentaries.
Yeah, I used to be obsessed with watching skate videos. Photosynthesis from Alien Workshop, Zero, Misled Youth. I was into all of them, and that's why I got into rock and hip hop. All of that was blended in.
Yeah, it was all punk, all that stuff.
Even the editing was dope back then.
Yeah. And if you think about it, all the first live venues for hip hop were all punk venues. like the joint in New York. What is it? CBGB? I don't know, I'm dyslexic, so I might be saying that wrong. Is it CBGB?
LBGBT? What the
No,
hell?
CBGB. You guys don't know what this is?
Yeah, I do.
Like
I've heard of that.
Beasties and MC Shan, I think, or all these guys. They used to be like they recently closed it down like in the last 5 years.
Oh.
But it was like a historic spot, for punk and for hip hop.
Yeah.
But anyways, you asked me album.
NWA.
So NWA, Straight Outta Compton, was the one because before that, all the hip hop before that was just fun and cool to listen to. But
My name is Zip, and I'm here to say.
Sir Mix-a-Lot, yeah, Posse's on Broadway, but NWA
And Luke.
taught me, yeah, Luke too. But the reason why NWA specific is because their anger and the emotion that they were able to convey in that music, I was like, yo, I could feel these motherfuckers are pissed.
Yeah, they are pissed.
And I never felt that from hip hop yet at
Yeah.
that point. So when I realized, man, you can relay emotion through this music, and that it was the music from my generation. It was something that was being birthed in my generation. I was like, yo, how can I not try to be a part of? First, I just became an avid fan of it, and just was a fan and just partaked in everything that was coming to Miami. All the first time Biggie came, first time Redman came, first time Wu-Tang came.
Nice.
I was just there, like, even if I broke night and went to school right after the show, I was there.
How were the fans' reaction to it? I mean, it's a very niche type of audience over here, don't you think? Like for that real hip-hop
Especially back
shit?
then.
Especially back then. Nas came down here.
Back
and was
then,
like,
I tell people that being a hip-hop head was like being the gothic kids in school. Like, everybody knew that group.
yeah.
It's like the 10 kids that were all black and the choker with the spikes. Oh, look, it's the gothic kids.
Yeah.
We were the gothic kids in that sense.
Yeah.
And when we would go to clubs, it was like literally all the hip-hop people from Miami were in that club. So we kind of all knew each other, just at least by face. Like, it was like maybe a couple thousand of us total at that time.
Yeah.
Because the flip side is what I said before, like the bass scene and the inner city scene in Miami, which followed bass, but also liked rap music. They didn't consider it hip hop. They're like, to them, NWA was rap music,
Yeah.
not hip hop. Hip hop's that shit from New York for them. So they were like dividing it, and it wasn't until radio stations, which took a while to play hip hop in Miami, that they took the same catchphrase that all the other radio stations up north and everywhere else were saying, where hip hop lives.
Yeah.
Was that mind frame changed in the Miami, at least inner city areas. I have friends from like, Gould and Richmond. I would argue with them. They'd be like, man, you listen to hip hop shit. I said, bro, it's all the same fucking shit. It's all the same shit. Whether you like it or not is totally different. But it's all hip hop. Even Vanilla Ice is fucking hip hop.
Right.
You might not like it, but it's hip hop. If he's fucking rapping on a beat, he's fucking hip hop.
Right.
So that's what that was all about.
That's the one that changed your life, and that's the one that got you on this path.
NWA, bro. Yeah, I was
That's
scared to go
what's
to Compton, so I was like, man.
You ever met?
This generation of hip hop,
Give me a sec. You ever met anybody?
Beef on the set?
No, just a newcomer. He'll learn. You ever met any NWA?
Damn, that's a good question, man. Have I met any? Oh, well, I did have a brief encounter and I just froze. It was 1994, 95. I was at a music convention in Jamaica. I was sitting by the beach at a picnic table, and right in front of me, fucking Dr. Dre sat down.
Oh, nice.
And that was my favorite group of all times at that point still. And
Did you say anything?
Huh?
You said something?
No, I froze up. I don't know what the fuck to say. I was like, this is fucking Dr. Dre. And I just stayed quiet. And then my favorite MC of all times is Ice Cube. More so before West Side Connection.
Yeah.
And I got to interview him through Drink Champs.
Yeah.
And I've had interactions with Ren through like social media and through internet.
That's what's up.
Yeah, that's.
So, all right, yeah, Cube is obviously the man.
And
Let's
I
get
met
to the-
Eazy's son, and he was hella cool.
Yeah, he's a good actor too.
Yeah.
Drink Champs, man. What a great show.
Thanks.
What a great show. I assume that it's all your connections. I got to meet Lee, who's your producer. Really cool dude, man. Really like meticulous and accurate about everything. But as far as like who put everything together as far as AV wise, was that your department with Crazy Hood, or is that?
Yeah, I mean, well, the team was put together by me and Nori.
Mm-hmm.
We started the show out of my old office that was on Biscayne, and Hazardous Sounds is a engineer that we've been working with that I connected with Nori, and so we brought him in as engineer.
Another Miami known guy.
Rich Blanco, the videographer, he had just like kind of started working with me right before then. I said, come in and start filming this, and that was it. That was the production, and then slowly Rich started adding people to the team, and that's basically the way we put the team together.
Okay, and then Revolt came in later. Just a quick background: you met N.O.G.A.S at a store, a clothing store that you started.
My store in Bird Road, Sweetwater area.
Yeah.
And he came to do. He was doing a show. It was a CNN promo tour, but Capone was locked up, and so they brought him to promote the show at my store, and we just hit it off from that.
Yeah.
It was '97, I believe.
And then N.O.G.A.'s been around. I see him everywhere, literally. But it's great, that Drink Champ stuff, because he brings his friends, but you have a real knowledge that some of even the guests don't even know.
Right.
You know, of hip hop, and it's awesome when you chime in. To me, you don't chime in enough.
Right.
I love it when you give your knowledge, because first off, you represent people like, you know, my older brothers, just people from our generation and our neighborhoods.
Right.
And it's just awesome to see, like that one that we saw with Busta Rhymes. You know, it was crazy. Like, you was naming everything that he was talking about when it came to the leaders of the new school, his group. Yeah. You were telling him when he got kicked out of the group, type of shit.
Right.
It was incredible.
Right.
Student of the game.
Absolutely.
Every day it was your life.
Right.
So how when you started the Drink Champ stuff, how far did you think it was gonna get? Like with N.O.G.A.S, like did you know?
It was just supposed to be something for fun. We had a radio show before that on XM,
Sirius, right?
And then Sirius XM. It was before the merger we started.
How long after the clothing store meet did the Sirius XM start?
Oh man, me and N.O.G.A.'s journey, precedes that. Like,
we gotta have a documentary for that one. All right,
yeah, like we met in the store, and then he did a bunch of freestyles for me. He was at the height of his career, like coming out as a solo artist. Him doing those freestyles for me, and I was, heavy in the mixtapes. I was the most consistent mixtape DJ out of Miami, but he was a national artist. He kind of changed the game for me on the mixtapes, because now I had like this national artist. So now I started getting other national artists because of him. He really helped that movement. I mean, some other cats started helping, but he was really one of the first ones to like really like come in and put it down for me. So we just became like advocates for each other. Like I would hear people call me up, be like, "Yo, N.O.G.A. just mentioned you on Hot 97," and I, my team promoted him like he was one of our artists. And I actually did his first show in Miami, solo show, which was in '98. And then after that show, and it was successful, his team hired me to put together a show for Capone coming home out of prison.
Nice.
The Capone home show.
Yeah.
And so like my group went on tour with them.
That must have been awesome.
like we've just worked so much together. If I would tell him, "Yo, I need to get this artist, can you lean on them for me?" Boom, he would lean on them for me. We would crash he would get the big ass suites, for doing shows.
Yeah.
And we would crash in like the other, room in the suite. Yeah. Because we were broke ass motherfuckers, and he would just be like, just crash there, And
you got a fucking verse from almost everyone in the game.
Oh, I got mad verses, and then and I got to reciprocate, because when N.O.G.A. did the reggaeton stuff, which I wasn't a big fan of. I'm not into reggaeton.
He did a classic one though.
He did. Yeah. But I'm saying that was just never my thing, so I couldn't really follow suit and help as much. And then when he got off of that vibe, the industry kind of like at the time, he was like just like not really there. Like it just wasn't working out. Like he was just coming off of reggaeton. I don't know. It was just weird for him.
He figured out salsa hip hop. There you go.
Salsa hip hop?
Yeah, what they told you to do. He figured it out with the reggaeton shit.
You lost me on that one.
Yeah, when they told you, when they were asking you about to do salsa hip hop.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I threw it back. It's totally bomb. I have a fucking sound clip for whatever joke bomb.
Yeah, so you're right. So
I'm gonna put that in editing.
So he actually moved to Miami, moved to Kendall, and was working out of my studio. And he was like, "Yo, let's just get me back to hip hop."
Yeah.
And we got him back on track.
Yeah.
And that's when in that studio is where we started the Sirius XM, the XM, then Sirius XM. It was a weekly Thursday show, and it looks and sounds just like Drink Champs. If you go on YouTube, you'll see old clips. We're drinking Tiger Bone, getting drunk. And then that ended because I started managing Mayday. He went on a tour with CNN. They put out a new album. And that ended. And I always wanted to do that again because it was just so much fun. Like, we had a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah.
So a friend of mine said, "Yo, podcasting is the move." Long story short, finally convinced Nori. It took like a couple years to convince him because nobody really in hip hop was big on the podcast.
It took you a long time to convince him to just, smoke 10 blunts and
drink
wood.
it.
Well, he didn't know he was gonna be able to do that at that time.
Okay.
Well, you do it on Revolt. I assume you have Ciroc sponsorships. I see it all the time.
Right,
So
right. Yeah,
it's
they're definitely involved.
How many episodes do you think your liver can handle with this show? Like the way it is.
Man.
Not
I'm about to die.
Not to like change your direction, but like where do you see yourself going if you have a next move like after Drink Champs?
I mean, to me, it's like I said, it's always a grind. So like the Coming Home series still continues. The artists I manage still developing artists. I got young producer Beats in the Hood. He's working with a lot of South American artists. When we went to Peru, he met some of the top Peruvian rappers, and he's been working with them consistently ever since.
Nice.
The whole Crazy Hood brand, we have a marketing. I do consulting for people, so that's something that I do a lot of behind the scene things. So when you say, for example, that you would like more input from me, like really my natural state of being is not to really. I'm a DJ and behind the scenes guy, so I'm not naturally the guy that's like, hey, let me talk and put my fucking voice in it. But I do it like I talk whenever I feel that I have something to say,
And it's always.
Or if I'm really drunk, then I'm definitely gonna talk.
You be on that Colombian White. That's your thing.
Right, that's a brand that I'm involved in. I own a piece of that. Yeah, Colombian
Awesome.
White. Yeah,
That's what I say. You
yeah.
there.
So I mean, that's just like I said. I've never been really the type to try to be in front of the camera or on the mic, but it's proven to always be that it's like if you want something done right, you do it yourself type of vibe.
Hell yeah.
So I definitely find myself in that position.
That's why we're here. Actually.
But like I told you, I'm antisocial, hate everybody, fuck the world. So it's like I'd rather not.
I feel the same exact way about our school, man. That's another thing. You got your degree in film. Was it in film, or you got an associate's in film?
I got an association. Caca mierda, man. Like,
what school did you go to?
I fucking barely finished Miami-Dade College.
Dude,
like
that's where we go to now, man. And I feel the same exact way that you said right now. I fucking hate that school.
I didn't hate it though. I can't lie. No, I didn't hate it.
Well, maybe
it was fun when I went there. That's why I didn't pass the fucking classes. That's so much fun. And what happened was my mom worked there, so I had the freebie, and I didn't fucking finish. And then my mom was like, "You're a piece of shit.
You better finish."
No, I'm talking about like when I became 30-something. My mom went off to LA to visit family. I was like, you know what? I'm going to give my mom a treat. So I went to fucking school. I was like, how many credits do I What? I got like 7 credits left. I went in there. I was an A student, did the extra credit. My mom came back, took her to dinner, and I was like, here's the diploma. My mom said, where did you get this copy of a diploma from? I was like, nah, I went back to school so you wouldn't talk shit anymore.
That's hilarious. So during that time, where'd you go? The North Campus or Wolfson?
No. I'm a Kendall boy.
South,
I'm in the South. Yeah. So I was South Campus all day. That's a fun campus.
Yeah, that's what I probably might have to take the commute out there, man, because I'm having
Kendall's
such a bad
shit.
time.
We got a dope studio.
They got a dope music.
Dope studio. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you make any connections from those days? Like, do you still talk to any of those
in Miami-Dade?
Your peers? Yeah. No. You literally went there to finish your fucking degree, get it to show your moms.
Yeah, there ain't no connections out of that. My connections were going out in the streets and shit.
How important is that? Tell the students who are listening, man. How important is it to go in the streets? Because a lot of kids think that they're just gonna get a degree and just land themselves in a cushy job that Miami-Dade provides, and I'm just like,
well, maybe if it's another kind of like major, that might work, but definitely not in entertainment or something like that. You got to go out there and you got to experience it, and you got to network. You're as strong as your network, basically.
Pretty much.
What do they say? Network is your net worth, is like the saying.
I like that.
So,
do you remember your first network? Your first connect?
Well, what I did is because I realized in Miami we have no music industry, no real music industry. So I was like, how the fuck do I connect to people? And then we got lucky. They started a music conference called How Can I Be Down?
Oh shit! Okay.
By an executive from Def Jam. Yeah, it was in 1993. I think was the first one. I believe 93, 94.
Since way back then.
Yeah, and then I fucking went. I scraped it. I told my boys. I was like, yo. And then my whole thing was like, I got inspired by Wu-Tang, Master P, the way he had all the No Limit Soldier dudes with the shirts. I got inspired by all these different movements, and I was like, I organized my crew in the same manner. Like, we're all gonna be rocking the Crazy Hood shirts. We're gonna make a presence. They don't. My whole saying, my thing is, you don't have to like me. I just want you to know about me. At the very least, let's start there.
My fucking whole motto at school. My
So-
whole
A
motto.
lot of people don't like Dean.
Yeah, because trust me, you think people wanted to hear about a Cuban kid from Kendall talking about, yo, this is what I'm doing? These motherfuckers, I was in the flea market, I was with the crew, but I was in there, and what happens is eventually people start to, it turns into like, fuck that dude, to, I kind of respect him because he's in the streets, to like, then they just roll with you because they realize like you're authentic, you're being authentic,
Yeah.
you're coming from an authentic place, and then they start to, peep what you're really doing, and they're like, oh yeah, I fucks with that.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I went to the conferences just to learn more of the business, connect with people, and I was able to bump heads with, like, I met Biggie there, I met
Nice.
Busta for the first time, I met Puffy. Like, you were able, because back then hip hop was so innocent, they were just happy to be like recognized.
Yeah.
These guys were like, oh shit, you know who I am? They were
Yeah.
just very accessible at the
This was
time.
pre 360 deals type of shit, or
Oh way! This is '93, dog. '93,
Yeah.
and then I had a demo for the group. I had this first group called Poetic Symbols that I financed and put this little demo together, and I went. They had like this demo clinic in the convention, and dog, we had a beat that ended up being used on the Big Pun album, a beat that Mobb Deep ended up using. I don't know if we got jacked. All I know is that they were like, "Oh, we'll keep the demo. Sounds great." And then we got a letter saying, "Thank you for trying, but we're not gonna, take the demo or whatever. We're not gonna sign you."
and then you heard something
And then we
similar?
heard all the same samples being used somewhere else.
Oh
So
hell no!
I don't know if they really truly jacked the samples, but at least
The
I
influence.
knew that we were on the right path.
Right.
And I was I was at all the panels, and what was ill to me back then is that one of my favorite groups also was that at the same time as NWA is Public Enemy.
Okay.
Chuck D was in the audience with me on one of the panels asking questions. I'm like, oh shit, if he's still fucking asking questions, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
This is how fucked up this industry is. This motherfucker's already a legend in the game. So, and he's asking questions of the panelists. So, I mean, all those experiences, and I went to as many of
You
those
should
as
have
I
asked
can go.
Flavor Flav. I mean, Flavor Flav made a fucking fortune, didn't he?
I mean, he might have spent that fortune on some things.
Yeah. On his 20 kids.
I mean, but yeah, they're legends. But yeah, I, like I said, we're talking to students, like you said. Go seek out these opportunities. Like now they got Revolt Music Conference. The only thing that you have to understand is you have to go in there with realistic like ideas of what these things are, because what happens with these conventions is that these executives now come in, especially like in a place like Miami, and they're like, I'm just gonna go vacation there. It's not that serious. They're not gonna give you fucking some groundbreaking information that's gonna change your life. But what you go in there is if you're smart enough, you peep game, you meet some people, you might connect with one person really well, and it starts to branch off into other things. And yeah, you network, you gain some information, and you gain experience in that world. You immerse yourself in that world. And then you go to the next one and the next one and the next one. It takes forever. Look, I'm here with a white ass fucking beard. Drink Champs is popping right now. It was a culmination of a bunch of mini successes to get to where we're at now. And it's
Yeah.
going to continue that way.
It's gonna continue that way.
Yeah.
And I love when you guys were on the Breakfast Club.
Right.
I don't know if it was with you guys, but Nori said a story of DJ Envy, right? Was
Right.
it Envy?
Yeah.
That Envy wanted a verse from Nori, and Nori was like, "Yo, I need 12 grand."
Yeah.
And then and like it was a shock for Envy because they grew up, like they came up together.
Yeah.
And Nori's excuse was, "Hey man, I'm hot right now. I don't know how long this is gonna last." So it's facts, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is it's so true when it comes to Drink Champs right now. Like you have such a good ball rolling that
And I don't take it for granted at all.
I know, which is why
it could
you're
end
here, to be
tomorrow,
honest.
and it is what it is, you know?
yeah, I've heard you on other podcasts from the local neighborhood people here,
Yeah.
and yeah, you're just still so humble about everything, about your, just where you came from and all that. And
I mean, I think that if you take it any other way, you're really shooting yourself in the foot.
yeah,
So
it's
Thanks,
crazy. Yeah,
I got another event to go to, man.
Yeah, I guess this has turned into Drink Champs over here.
Yeah.
We got
I'm
Elena.
trying to get him, feel natural, like
My natural habitat.
8 and 9 is another Miami local
Shout out to 8
legend.
and 9, Ray,
Yeah,
Nas,
Ray,
Pesos,
Nas.
all them dudes, yeah.
The deal with them, you guys have shirts with them now, Drink Champs.
They handle most of our merch, yep.
Cool, and then you guys do some pop-up shows over there at their shop in Wynwood.
Yep. Well, that's a collaborative that we have together.
Right.
Yeah.
How crazy is it, since you're a Miami native, the transition that Wynwood has made since like 10 years ago, maybe?
It's insane because I used to do block parties there with my homies when it was just crackheads running around. And before that, with more crackheads running around, some of the first hip hop jams were in Wynwood.
Yeah.
Zulu Nation used to do them at Roberto Clemente Park, where they literally would put. I tell people this all the time. They would put like the Zulu like security around the basketball court to keep out the crackheads that were looking like Walking Dead shit. Like they're all like trying to get in the and they're like just pushing them away from them. And then motherfuckers just break dancing in the middle of that. Like yeah, like I mean that seriously was it's still a serious hood. Like the outskirts of it. Don't get it twisted. You know.
Changed though a lot.
Of course, changed so much.
90s.
Nobody would go there.
Right.
You know.
It was,
yeah, I was going there in the early '90s. Like I said, the crackheads. It was, and then right before Wynwood turned, my homie, who's one of the founders of STV, the graffiti crew out here, and also does this really great program for kids called Path, where they teach kids all the elements of hip hop.
Nice.
Brimstone. He and a couple other people and us, we did block parties right next to Koyo.
Yeah.
And we would shut the block down. They would put 4 turntables. Jam out, b-boys, merch and all that stuff, and we did that right before it turned into what it is now. Because you
it's
can't
like South
do
Beach
that
now.
It
was like fucking South Beach and everything. So
when I saw them do tours, like
Yeah.
with the fucking lady with the microphone, like this right here, I was like, oh hell no, this shit is crazy, dog. The duck tours or whatever.
The duck boats tour.
You wilding out right now.
I took
man.
my
This
uncle.
is the hood.
I took my uncle
Just
there.
looks nice.
To Fireman Bakery where they make some really good bakery goods. And he grew up there, but he's like 50 now. We go to Fireman, and this white lady's like, she sees us with our big bag coming out, and he's like nervous. And like the white lady's like, hey, what'd you guys get? And he was like, got scared because he hasn't been there since like the early 90s.
Right.
He did everything. Everyone who grew up there when Robert E. Lee School, elementary school was there, which is where a lot of my family went to elementary school.
Yeah.
They were trying to get out of there. They couldn't get out of there fast enough.
You know about DJ Raw and that whole crew, the Knockout Posse? You don't know about these guys?
South Beach Posse. I remember there was a bunch
South
of...
Beach Boys was a different thing. But
everyone loved Knuckleheads.
In Wynwood was DJ Raw, which is a big part of the Miami hip-hop history, but he went to prison. It's a big old thing, but whatever. Keep going.
Yeah. No. I love the old school. I love the Gano stories.
We almost made a documentary about this guy. Like, this guy is it's a serious story about Miami. Like, it's crazy.
About Wynwood area and all that?
Yeah, no. This guy, he had a pirate radio station in a school bus.
Oh, shit.
That
not 89.5.
No, I don't even remember what it was called, but he would drive it around so he would evade the FCC, but then he would park it in front of his crib in Wynwood.
That's awesome, dog.
And he would have like the likes of Ice-T at his crib, and like he used to do this jam called Hoodstock. You never heard of Hoodstock?
I've heard of Hoodstock before.
Hoodstock was this free hip hop jam that, I mean, all like MOP, Busta, whoever, like Exhibit, all these guys came, and it was free to the public. But this dude was a big dope boy. And so, a lot came with that. And he was down with like Zulu, but whatever. There's a lot of controversy, and we got to know the dude, and we were going to do a documentary about him because if you were involved in hip-hop in the 90s, early 90s, you definitely knew about these dudes or ran in with these dudes or something, and he's a part of the hip-hop story in Miami. And he's kind of been written off, which is unfortunate because there was some negativity having to do with the dude. His crew's called Knockout Posse. Like, they were literally going out and knocking people the fuck out.
Strong robbery type of shit?
Yeah, I mean, these guys, it was serious street shit. Like, serious street shit.
Stuff that you wouldn't even imagine.
We have not to cut you off, we have a trailer to the documentary that never happened that you can actually watch, and you will see real footage from the news when he got locked up.
On YouTube?
Yeah, put DJ Raw Crazy Hood. I mean, that should probably...
Raul Medina?
Yeah. No.
Hoodstock, Miami?
No, don't go to that one, though. See... what did we call it, man? Hold up, man. I want to... You gotta watch our shit. Can you go to the Crazy Hood
page?
YouTube
channel?
Okay, yeah. Crazy Hood Film Academy?
Crazy channel.
Who's Crazy is the channel.
Who's Crazy? This one, right?
Yeah, and then see if...
DJ Raw Garcia. It was crazy. Videos. Let's go to videos.
Go down. Go down. It's gonna be wild. This is something that we were working on years ago.
And what happened? I mean, it's hard to make a documentary, period. But what ended up happening that it didn't get finished?
Didn't see what.
I think it's on the Vivo.
No.
Channel.
We had it.
I remember.
Oh, we might have taken because
Yeah,
The shit, go down, keep going down.
All right, we're
The
reaching.
Gracefield Film Academy.
Yeah, we're reaching
That's where I saw it last.
6 years ago now. You guys
Yeah,
have so
no,
much
it's
content.
a while ago. Damn, man, Hoodstock. What the fuck did we call that shit, dude? You gotta see, cause it'll show you the footage from it.
We're back 7 years. Is that too far?
Not at all. I mean, it might be Hoodstock. Crazy Hood Film. Yeah, you might be right. It might be the Vimeo page.
The Vimeo?
Page.
Yeah.
All right, let me check Vimeo. Elena, don't you have a Wynwood story?
A Wynwood story? What are you talking about?
Who did you beat up in Wynwood?
Yeah, that too. No, the you were around here. Some like the remnants of Wynwood is still around here.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Well, last year, a friend of mine got,
Jacked?
well, yeah, and like held at 2 gunpoints all at the same time.
Nice.
So now she's like,
Oh,
back
it's
at
not
it.
nice for her.
She's my best friend, and she's like, she almost tried committing a suicide after that. It's
Oh,
like
damn.
really bad. No, so it's like, it feels safe, but it's not.
It's not safe. It's not
Very
safe.
bad,
Like
yeah.
if you don't like tourists that come here and just think, oh la la la, like the hood is still there. It's still in the outskirts. It's still there.
Yeah. And we're trying to like bring around the filmmaking industry into the
Yeah,
Wynwood.
yeah,
because
right
it's
there,
like,
right there, look.
it's our
This one?
creative
Yeah,
industry right now.
that's it right there.
So
But
yeah,
they're like shooting.
You found
and
the
stuff, and
shit?
it's
Found it.
dangerous.
it's still dangerous. It still has remnants.
Well,
and all
look.
that.
Well, now you'll get a little bit of a taste of what
It used to be like.
Wynwood. Yeah.
Oh, we don't have license for Pac, but yeah.
Just play it. You can edit it.
Yeah, yeah.
Let it ride, let it ride.
Y'all make sure y'all check
Miami
out
has its beauty, it's just
97.
so gorgeous.
96 is the phone, so 97 definitely gonna be the shit.
My name is DJ Raw. My AKA name is Raul Medina because they call me more DJ Raw than anything else.
The
I
master.
first met Rob was at a funeral. We had a clique, a gang called the KOP, and
Knockout
one of
Posse.
our boys got killed.
He had, I was impressed, I really was. He had like a whole mob, like a whole team, like a mob. And everyone had a specific job.
The first time I met Rob, on the left side, no beef.
Dude didn't want to be.
First dad, our homeboy started shooting with him.
Informant. Oh shit.
It was the fast life, man. It was the good life, man. That's all I can say. You know, all that partying, like I said, it got boring and it got tired. And it got to a point where we were getting high. We were high every day.
Live from South Florida's news station, WSBN 7.
Topping the weekend off, hundreds of people turned out for Hoodstock at Roberto Clemente Park in Wynwood. The festival is an annual event showcasing
shit.
Smith and Wesson.
talents.
Smith and Wesson out there.
Non-stop rap and hip-hop music.
My homegirl right there.
That's your homegirl?
By the time we got to Hoodstock 1996, my life started changing.
Woodstock to us wasn't really a way to make money. To us, it was always giving back. You know, we had so much money, and we just, kind of felt guilty, man.
They just make a major bust today, confiscating cocaine, guns, and cash.
We began at the street level. We got into DJ Raw. We started making lines.
He's known on the streets as DJ Raw. Medina says he wants kids to stay away from drugs, even though he admitted to our cameras he didn't. This to bring money into the area.
What
Damn.
charges did I have? Run Rico, murder, conspiracy, kidnapping, all kind of charges.
I grabbed my pistol, I took it off the safety.
I took my time, and I aimed, and I flipped his ass.
When he got killed, I ain't had nothing to do with that shit he brought on himself. Looking at everything, they painted me to be Tony Montana. They painted that for me. And then
She was ill.
sat back and took a look at it, and I said, well,
That's the Wynwood I know.
That's the Wynwood I know too.
Let me tell you, those times were crazy, but I love back in those days.
Oh, yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like early
It was
90s,
rough.
late 90s.
It was a rough time.
Because it was what it was. Now you don't know. Like, for example, like you're saying, Wynwood, it looks beautiful, but at least back then when you went to Wynwood, you know what you were getting involved in. You know what I'm
But
saying?
now you don't, and you still do.
Nah, you definitely don't.
No, my family shed blood, sweat, and tears at the old Wynwood, for sure. We still feel it to this day. At the same time, we have to evolve with the times, and I love the way it's getting now. You know, I love, it's kind of like South Beach, whatever, but...
Well, one thing I don't agree with is gentrification, the way it's done. And I'm gonna tell you that when we went to Colombia, it opened my eyes to the way that gentrification could be done the right way.
Speak on that, how? Because this is a product of gentrification right here. This very building that we're in used to be the hood. And
well, actually, no, you're wrong. It did used to be the hood, but actually this whole strip used to be the better part of Miami. And then it deteriorated, after the 80s and all that stuff, and then it became kind of like the hood. But really, the coastline strip area was always the nicer part of Miami when Miami started to build itself up in prior 70s and 60s and 70s.
But would you consider this bad gentrification, the way Miami does it, as compared to your idea of good?
When I'm talking about gentrification, I'm talking about going into an area it's historically one way for a long time. This area right here was always more commercial, more whatever. It wasn't it's not like Little Haiti. It wasn't like Overtown. Right. This was like just a greater Miami area. There was always big buildings to a degree, maybe smaller, but there was, this was a nicer strip here. Okay. It's just that Miami deteriorated, so the hood just took over this area, and I
heard that my uncle told me that it was the railroad company that owned most of this and let it neglected it, which is why it got all fucked up, and then they sold it finally to the county or to the city in the early 90s, and that's when everything started developing and all.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe he knows more than I do. I couldn't go that deep with it. Right. Another thing I could tell you about the railroad companies is that they're part of the segregated side of Miami, because if you notice, the hoods are always divided between the railroad and the highways.
Coincidence?
No, it's on purpose.
Exactly.
Yeah, of course, for sure. That's something that and if you start to look around in any state, especially the South, but even in LA, you'll start to notice. That's why they always say the wrong side of the tracks.
Right, exactly.
Because it's like you stay on that side and we'll stay on this side. That was used as segregation. Yeah. First it was the railroad system, then it was the highways. If you notice, they put the big ass highways in between the hoods. Mm-hmm. Like even here, if you go down over here, a little bit northwest, whatever, the highways here, you got the nicer area over here, and on the other side of the highway is the hood over here.
Yeah. So what's your idea of good gentrification, or the way that it's done right?
Well, what I saw in Colombia that I thought was super ill is, there was this area in Medellin that is one of the worst neighborhoods. It was one of the worst neighborhoods, at least in Colombia. Yeah. They had literally a war in this neighborhood, in the favelas. Like there was the drug dealers fighting the cops, fighting the militia, the communist guerrillas, and the militias.
Damn, it's like 4 different battles at once.
Yeah. They over 1,000 people went missing during this time, and it's in recent years. This is like in like early 2000s. Like not that long ago. It's not during the Escobar years. This is in recent times. Yeah. So this was a really bad neighborhood, and it's favelas. So now we heard about this. They were telling us when you go there, there's like a hip-hop school there, and people were telling me there's this hip-hop schools in the hoods in Colombia, and I'm like, hip-hop school? It doesn't make sense to me. So we met with these guys in this hip-hop school, and they were explaining to us how they get contracted, not by the government. They deal with nonprofits usually, and they go into the hood and they teach hip-hop to the kids, or they bring them into and they have like a clubhouse type of thing. Yeah. They teach them hip hop, and then they go and they create murals in the hood. So what the government did that I thought was super ill in this one specific hood. So in Colombia, in Medellin specifically, Medellin is in a valley. Yeah. Actually, the higher you go in the mountain, the worse off you are. Like the worse the favela, the poorer you are. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was incredible.
Like Sausalito is the opposite.
Yeah. So imagine if you're in a favela and you're in a hood that's up top the mountain, but everything is in the valley. How difficult is it for you to get your shit if you don't have a car, or if you don't have some? Like, how hard is it? So what they did is they created these escalator systems. The government did this. right? And it was an escalator that went all the way up the mountain, up the favela.
Yeah.
And so now the neighborhood can go, down a lot easier, go and grocery shopping. Shit that was a mission for them, they could do that.
Could you imagine going up, like going into heaven type of shit, like going up that escalator?
It's crazy. So, but what the government did is they created now like a tourism around these escalators because they were like, it was like a wonder to see, like a technological wonder, like, oh, look at these escalators.
An escalator, really?
Yeah. But then you still have a bad neighborhood. So what?
It's almost like a third world country. It is.
Yeah. So then what the hip hop community did is now they're teaching hip hop to these kids, and they're saying, hey, get off the streets. Let's do this more positive thing. And then now the graffiti element, they went in there and they started to paint murals on all the favelas, all vibrant colors, all vibrant type of things. They were like, yo, we could do like just tags, but they would do like a whale or this and that because they wanted the kids growing up to see these different types of images. So then the people in the hood were like begging them now to paint the top of their roofs and all this shit. So now it looks beautiful. And so what happened is now there's tourism going in there. The hood is seeing that there's money coming in. So the government kept the hood intact because now it's starting to become like a Wynwood. It's an artsy thing that you got like these German tourists with cameras taking pictures of these murals. Instead of taking the hood out and making this an expensive real estate and then changing the whole landscape, the government decided, or whoever the powers that be, maybe the local government, said, what's a part of the allure to this is the local people. Mm-hmm. They are a part of the allure to this.
Totally should be.
So they kept the people there. So now the local bodega is selling waters and candies and stuff to the tourists. Yeah. Then even some of the people in the hood had like little merch tables at each stop of the fucking escalator. They're selling like welcome to whatever the fucking hood name or whatever. And I was like, yo, this is fucking crazy. Like, I called it reverse gentrification.
Yeah. But do you think that would work over here? Because what would the people be the attraction?
Like, Little Haiti to me is a perfect place for something like that. Like, how the fuck are you going to call it Little Haiti if you take out the Haitians?
Right, yeah, that's true.
Like, what the fuck? Little Havana barely has Cubans now. You know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
it just has that big rooster statue.
Need to do what they did with Little Havana, with Wynwood, my bad.
Yeah. They are trying. But what happens is then there's a problem where they didn't, a lot of people in the hood didn't own their spots. Like, I know people in Wynwood, because that was the only little Puerto Rican pocket in Miami. The Boricuas were in Wynwood.
Yeah.
I know some people that they own their cribs, so they waited out and they sold it for like millions, multi-millions.
Hell yeah.
But some people in the hood didn't own their shit. They had slumlords and shit, so they got kicked out and then sold their shit for millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And here this motherfucker been living there for like 50, 60 years, his family, and now he just got kicked out.
Right.
Because he, whatever, you ain't worth nothing to us no more.
Yeah. Can you believe that Dracula video's still there?
Dracula video? Oh, you mean the video store over there?
Yeah. What is it fucking selling? That shit's still up. That
creepy ass shit. Who knows what the fuck is in there? I mean,
that
Dracula
video store has been around since I could remember.
It's Dracula video and shit ain't Halloween all year round. What the fuck is going on in that motherfucker, yo?
Yeah, I don't know. They're still renting VHSs and shit, but that's probably one of the only things that's still
really
around.
got VHS in that motherfucker?
I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. I haven't gone in, but it's still open. That shit's crazy. Since I was little, since I can remember, that video store's been there.
Don't put them on the spotlight, because there might be something else keeping them open.
I'm sure there is. But that's what's up, man. All right, so how do you feel about Marvin's question, the new mumble rap and all that? I'm sorry, Marvin. I didn't mean to yell at you earlier. It's just that you don't have a mic. That's the thing. That you don't have a mic on video. It looks crazy when they're answering something over there and you don't hear the question. Mumble rappers. What do you feel about that?
Look, man. I personally don't have beef with any of the artists right now. My beef is with the audience. An artist is man. Make your ends however the fuck you can make it. If you could find some dummy to buy your product, then it's the dummy's problem.
Yeah.
Not the other person. Of course I want better artistry in hip hop. I want things but I can't expect the generations to continue and what we did and do the things that I just can't. That's unrealistic.
Yeah.
And it's not my job personally to I don't have to like what's new to try to be relevant. My thing is to make what I like relevant. That's my job. But I got no problem with mumble rap. I mean, they don't like to be called mumble rap. Bum B said something really dope on our podcast. He's like, look, man, they used to say we were mumbling when we were rapping back in the days because people didn't understand what we were doing. So these kids have a new lingo, a new way of talking. Maybe it's inaudible.
New way of dressing. God damn.
well, the dressing shit, that's some shit that we got to talk about. But
that's why it bothers me though, because there's a dude that just came out from Broward, and he's wearing a dress and like a wedding dress.
And those are the type of people I don't like.
That's a dude from Broward. I thought that's not the other homies. I thought. See, they starting to
it's getting crazy, and the way that they get shine is by us talking about them. So let's not even.
Right.
But
But again, whose fault is it?
It's
if
the audience,
somebody follow like that dude, if he knows that someone's gonna buy into that, is it really his fault? He's just trying to make some money, man, to pay his bills and to do what he's got to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's the motherfuckers that think that that's cool for some reason and buy into it. That's the problem I have. Like, what's going on with the greater audience? And I blame my generation. I say this on the podcast all the time. My generation stopped being leaders, stopped being OGs. Our generation had OGs. We had the Public Enemies, the NWAs, the De La Souls, the Tribe. When we took the reign, we decided, we want to have too much fun. And we want to party like we're fucking 17, 18 forever. You know, and act fools. And then we stopped showing that there's growth and that you know, there's consequences to acting certain ways. And, you know, like, I don't know. There's certain things you can show without being a lame.
But that's the thing about fame that I realized with the fame. And I'm sure you see it a lot, too.
Right.
These artists hate looking at the stuff from back in the day. They get stuck. Once they get famous, they're stuck at that age. It's almost like an immortal type of thing.
Right.
Their albums start turning into fucking drawings of themselves, like the new Wu-Tang. Shout out to Wu-Tang.
Right.
But they're not like you, who embrace the grayness in their beard. They get fucking self-conscious about it. You know what I mean? And I think that's what happens. It's the fame thing that just, you know.
It's hard to say, man. I mean, being in the spotlight and it twists everything, you know. And when people become famous, you get a lot of weirdos come at you. Look, I'm not even famous, and I get weirdos coming up to me. I can't imagine someone like a Kanye or even Nori himself. I've been around Nori. I mean, you get people that come at you, and you're just like, where are they?
What kind of weirdo?
Like, it's just.
What was the weirdest thing?
Anything you can imagine is being thrown at you and being said to you. Like, you know, I mean, dude, this is actually not even in the same vein of what I'm talking about, but I knew this rapper chick, and one day she came back into our lives.
Okay.
And she was like, yo, I got beef with Jennifer Lopez. And I'm like, what do you mean you got beef with Jennifer? Yo, I got pregnant last year. I'm like, okay. She got pregnant last year. That bitch stole my style. Hell no. This really isn't the same thing that I'm talking about, but just to show you the level of insanity that people, like, you'll get people that come to you. There's this thing I call industry talk. People come to you and they'll blow your mind. I'm like, yo, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to make these moves. They'll do follow-up calls. They'll do conference meetings. They'll pick you up, take you to a nice restaurant, and then flatline. You never hear back. You're like, what the fuck was that guy wasting my time for like, you know, like 17 and a half meetings and, you know, and lobster and shrimp, like, and then now we're not doing, like, and then the guy's like, I don't know, I'm sorry. Like, there's so much insanity and people that, look, when I put out Another Time, actually, this is a good example. I put out that album.
Yeah.
Most people would say that was a real, like, hip-hop album, like, you know, like straight up, like, if you're into hip-hop, you're gonna like that album. I had some random ass dude on Facebook hit me up and tell me that I was the devil and that I made the artists on my album sell their souls to me, a blood oath.
A blood oath. And
that now when he sees me, he is going to murder me for doing that. And that I'm dead, and before he kills me, he's gonna have his pit bull eat me. All this, it was such a crazy conversation.
Sounds like a nice man.
Whoa.
It was such a crazy conversation.
Did you think, man, I really made it now? Like, did you think that?
Oh, well, yeah, to a degree I did. But this is too crazy. You know, because you never know who's going to act on these crazy impulses. Of
course.
So this dude, but I mean, I don't know if I have it saved, but it was a funny conversation because I was like, egging him on.
You went back and forth?
Like, he's like, yo, it was just like, you're the devil. I'm like, yes. Call me Lucifer. Like, yeah, no, I had to have fun. I said it to my friends. Everybody died of laughter. But it was insane. It just shows you, like, imagine what these other guys and what these other people have to deal with. And that's what starts to twist their minds and starts to really adjust their outlook and just the world. Like, it's insane. That's why people get mad. Oh, Kanye's acting, he's acting out. He's being Kanye.
Yeah. We'll never know. We'll never know.
Shit he must deal with. It's just crazy, dude. Yeah. I don't know. I fucks with Kanye, man. I back Kanye. He's Gemini. Let's go, Kanye.
Yeah. I recently
got your back. Who's crazy?
Too. Kid Cudi's another one who's fucked up. Like I feel I relate a lot to you.
Yeah, he was.
He's doing great though.
Yeah, he's dope.
Real quick, what are your favorite things to watch on TV now? And last good movie you saw?
Fuck, man.
What do you like? You like any Netflix shows, Amazon shows?
Yeah. I mean, I saw the new Narcos was off the chain.
That was off the chain.
The new one was, I think, better than the other one.
I liked it. Yeah.
I've been watching American Horror Story. I like to get in the Halloween spirit.
Okay.
You ever seen Surviving Escobar?
Nah, is it good? I see it in my Netflix. I always pass it.
It's Pablo's hitman. Like back in the day, whatever. He's telling the story. He just got out of prison. So
we definitely did the Pablo tour when we went to Colombia. It's not gonna be in the movie, but we just had to do it.
Yeah, you had to do it.
Nah, you know, because the people in Medellin were like, "Oh God, you guys want to do it?" Everybody wants to do it. But we were like, "Nah, just indulge us." Oh, he died there? Nice. You know, like.
Favorite movie? Well, give us your top 5 real quick. Not to put you on the spot.
It's too many, but I mean, one of my favorites, like childhood movies, Goonies, is one of the best. I'm a Star Wars guy and a Star Trek dude at the same
both?
time.
Okay.
Yeah, I like both. Yeah. What else, man? But Goonies is like my all-time favorite. Lost Boys. I don't know if you guys know that one.
The Vampire one.
That's a great movie as well. And then I love all the I'm a war historian fanatic. I feel like I'm like a amateur historian. So like Platoon and Full Metal Jacket and Deer Hunter and just all those war movies, you know, and even the World War II ones too. Like I love all those things.
Nice. Plugs real quick. You're gonna be at 8 and 9 Shop with your new collaboration.
Is this live right now?
No. Well, yeah, actually we are live. Aren't we? No, we're live.
Okay, yeah. Check us out. 8 and 9 tonight.
8 and 9.
Yeah.
You have the Datewear stuff.
It's a collaboration with Datewear, which can be, you could cop it after the pop-up. It's just the launch of it today.
Okay.
So you go to datewear.com.
Datewear.com.
And you can pick up, we've been doing our own gear for years. Like I said, I had a store called Crazy Goods. But Datewear is another local company, and we decided to get together, collaborate. So they came up with their own interpretation of Crazy Hood gear. And it's like a limited edition thing, and we're gonna put out a couple different pieces throughout the year.
Any other merch that you have with Crazy Hood? Any of your
just the projects. I'm gonna eventually get to another project. I'm gonna do an EP and then hopefully another full album.
Okay.
When you have someone like Redman, who's one of my all-time favorites, hitting me up to tell me I need to put out another album, motherfucker better put out another album.
Definitely.
Redman tells you to put out. That's fucking legend right there.
For
him to tell me that,
he's very underrated.
That's one of my favorite MCs too.
I heard him on Sirius the other day. He was promoting that celebrity ghost thing that he's doing now.
And to say something specific to Miami, Redman's been repping and supporting Miami. He's been coming here for a long time. But we had an MC out of Miami that's on my album. I purposely put her on there, called Mother Superior. They used to call her the female Nas because that's how lyrical
Mother
she
Superior,
was.
yeah, I heard of her.
And she's from Ghouls, from down south. And
you mention her all the time.
Yeah,
right?
he was on her album. Yeah, because she was our pride and joy. We thought Miami hip hop was gonna. She got signed, and we thought it was gonna happen, and then she ended up getting shelved at the label. And she's super ill. Actually, her album, they put it on iTunes, which is crazy. She gets no money off of it.
Yeah.
But her album, which got shelved, now I guess the catalog got thrown on iTunes.
Yeah.
So you can go on there, and she's got songs produced by Redman, featuring Redman. She's got songs produced by KRS-One, featuring KRS-One.
Shout out
her
to
first video
Redman.
was directed by the Jizza from Wu-Tang at the height of Wu-Tang.
The genius.
Yeah, so
yes.
Mother Superior.
Yeah, she had a song called Rock Bottom. It was like the
anthem.
Every
time I've heard you talk about it.
People say the bottom of the map. That came from her. You know, her and her people. That came from that.
Well, now it's gonna come from you. You heard?
From Ghouls,
From Ghouls, the bottom. Yeah.
You bottom of the map too, man.
Yeah.
For real. I think you're really underrated as far as a DJ. I mean, you have features with everyone.
Right.
But I'm so glad you're getting your shine now, and I'm so glad you came through and chatted with us.
Thank you
for
for having
bit.
me, man. Appreciate
and,
you.
Yeah, that's it. No.Ga.S podcast. DJ EFN. Check him out on Drink Champs podcast.
And Drink
Nori.
Champs.
And Drink Champs. And Elena, what's up? What's up with you?
How you doing?
Where are you going to be at? Where can people find you for your acting skills? Elena's an incredible actress.
Sorry.
She doesn't like to fucking brag too much, but she's great.
Yeah. I'm mainly on the independent level.
Say your last name again one more time.
Isangildina.
Where is that from?
I'm from, I'm from Tajikistan. I'm Russian. But Tajikistan is one of the former Soviet Union countries.
Right. Anything with a stan is former Soviet Union.
Right.
It is a Persian country located in Middle Asia. It's out of nowhere, but apparently some people know about it.
So it's close to Iran?
Yeah. Well, the native language is a Farsi dialect.
Farsi, okay.
But I am Russian. I was born Russian. I was just born in a non-Russian country because of the.
Oh, so
Soviet
your
Union.
families are ethnically, your parents are ethnically Russian. Like from. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
great
I was
actress.
born and raised by the Persian traditions,
Nice.
which like when you move to Russia, it's like, who are you people? It's like because you're Russian but you don't belong.
Right.
And is there more of you there in that place? Or is there
Like Russian, like
is there,
No, like duplicates to meat.
Yeah.
That's what
Emails, is
that's
that
what
what
this
you're
guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
just
Yes.
give me the direction.
human. Is there more humans?
Wait, what?
Is there more of you?
Yeah, of course there is. DJ EFN, thank you so much, man.
What a segue, buddy. DJ EFN, thank you for coming.
No, we know you gotta go, man. Thank you
All right.
so much for coming through.
For sure.
JC No Gas Podcast. Thanks
Yeah.
everybody for coming through. We
Peace.
out.
Way to get